Well, I took a moment to take a look at the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer number 2, and it's not bad. It's pretty good, and I think Deadpool and Wolverine, or Deadpool 3, however you want to put it, will probably be the dominant movie of the summer movie season, and will do very well. It will do absolutely nothing to get Disney out of its doldrums, unless everything afterwards is up to par. And they have to do better than be good. They have to be great, and, the whole shebang. But as far as for the movie in and of itself, there's little bells and whistles here and there. It was pretty cool. And it still had the elements of the serious tone for Wolverine colliding with the lunacy of Deadpool, so that's always going to be an interesting thing to play out. Unless they drop the ball on it, it gets too stupid and pushes you out of the movie and that sort of thing. But the only guesswork would be at what point is this taking place? Is he the same Wolverine from the Fox X-Men movies? There's suggesting that something horrible has happened and he's the last X-Man, which, of course, in the Logan movie, he wasn't exactly. Professor X was still around, but for the most part, most of the X-Men were dead as a result of what happened to Professor X. He lost control of his powers, and it wiped out a good bit of them and all that sort of thing. And is that the situation? Is this Wolverine in between Logan and the previous X-Men films? The only other question is, hey, who's the blonde? I was going to say blonde girl, the bald girl. And what speculation abounds, it appears she does have some, telepathic mind powers or what have you. Would she be a gender-swapped Professor X? Well, the odds are good. It is a Disney product, but there is a character they could utilize. A Moondragon. This was a bald woman who had very powerful mental powers. And but she was never a mutant. At least I don't recall it, unless they changed that later. And I didn't really keep. She was around. I read different comics where she would appear in the Avengers. Originally, I saw her in when she was very much a villain in that one. Later on, became more heroic in the Defenders and stuff like that. But in the Avengers in particular, they had this flashback story of who she was, and it turns out she was, and I assume that's still the case now, the long-lost daughter of Drax, who, of course, in the movies is a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and in the rebooted Guardians of the Galaxy, if you will, more or less, or the contemporary times version of them. Drax, of course, was a member of the team and all that, but that version of Drax is not the original Marvel Comics version. And of course, they did change his appearance quite drastically in the comics as well. But originally, he was a human being who inadvertently spotted Thanos' ship that was spying on the Earth. And I think, as I recall it, he was like a traveling salesman or something. And he was on a lonely road in Nevada, and there was Thanos' spaceship, and they said, we can't be detected by anyone, so they destroyed it. They blew up his car and everything. But as it happened, someone else was spying on Thanos, his enemies, and they decided to take this man whose name I forget and they transformed him into Drax. This super powerful, super strong guy bent on revenge against Thanos. And I believe his family was in the car with him and had died, but I guess I don't remember the detail. If he, I think he would have had his daughter there, and she survived as well, and he didn't realize it. And then she was taken by the Titans, who were an offshoot of the Eternals and all that. And they gave her powers. Now, maybe they retconned it to where she was a mutant and her powers activated, and they, trained her and whatnot, and that sort of thing. It might be something of that. Maybe it always was, and I just forgot. So, trying to figure out how you can fit her into the X-Men world, if they'll even bother. If they would follow up on this, that Drax's story that he believes wasn't true and that he was really from Earth, But they probably won't link it at all. The only thing they might do would say, well, this is multiverse shenanigans, and she's from an alternate version of Drax or what have you that you never saw. Something like that, and especially since I think the Guardians of the Galaxy as they were is done. I don't think Bautista's coming back to reprise the role or anything like that. So, but still, within comic books and the merging of X-Men into the MCU and all that underway, Moondragon would be a good character to utilize for a bald woman with very powerful mental power. And she would fit in quite nicely in there. The other characters from X-Men, of course, Jean Grey herself, she shaved her head and all that. This is a new Jean Grey and all that. But I think the Moondragon would probably be the best one to go with, even with all the missteps. And, of course, they ignored who Drax really was in the MCU, so they could just ignore who Moondragon originally was, and she's just... Well, she's this woman with... And they would make her a mutant, I'm sure, and all that in the story. But that's my best guess. Or she's just some brand new character altogether. Would much rather her be Moondragon, or even a brand new character, rather than be a gender-swapped Professor X or something of that nature. I don't really care for that. So... Anyway, that's about all I got from it. It looks cool and everything. Dropped an F-bomb, so this is not your usual Disney movie and all that. But they're banking everything on this, and it's the position they're in. However, the Deadpool 3 could make $1 billion, I think. But even if it does, what have they got to follow it? So, anyway, there you go. Another good trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine.